Can Today we have two main points. This one to interact with locals. I'm watching at the document Nalia is working on, and we also should define the second phase of the mapping to launch it, and and consequentially the a little talking about the badge system, or is it too
Yeah.
much?
Yeah, I were working on that the second part. So yeah, it's really important. Maybe we can finish with the first part. I don't know if we have something more to
Yeah, no, no, we finish with the first one. Let's go on.
So maybe you, Nastia or Francesco, you have something to think, to ask, to say about it.
For the local engagement, I mean, in those days,
Asking here, you have Analia
yeah,
really. It's
yeah,
time now to be synchronized about local group and global engagement.
yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know exactly what did you explain before, but Francisco ask your question about it, and it's
no,
okay.
my main doubt is now we've done the mapping of the community. Okay, so we have. It seems that with the second phase, we will have a questionnaire where everybody will say in which part, in which main activity he would like to engage himself. Okay, that's how we thought is the second form, the second part. There are, you can see it in the folder, there are three open questions about what the community expects and what everybody expects from the camp. Okay, what which with which people we would like to connect, and how we want to contribute. And talking about how we want to contribute, uh, we decide to let people express themselves through the first phase, the skilling, the skill they mapped before, saying we mapped 10 or 15 skills, but I want to be more engaged in two or three. Okay, how can we use this? I mean, everybody will express themselves, will make a step saying, I'm good in construction, or I'm good in organization, logistics, I'm good in facilitation, mediation of discussion. And how can we use them? What do you think? How can we
I
put
think
people? Actually,
that the thing of organization we will be doing this weeks after before the camp. So I don't think we will have like any really logistic work.
okay.
Because we're just defining that now, and then we're not even constructing. So I think that won't be necessary too. We thought really just these 2 weeks thinking how we are gonna proposing the subjects for the workshops, then the main subjects, it's like in the Excel, and then also thinking the way the workshops are going to be, like what do we expect about a workshop, how we're going to develop it. I think that we should discuss. But then logistic and organization, I think will be all set up. We have like a planning and the the activities that are mostly arranged.
But these activities, we should confront the activities with the skills we mapped. Instead, so we can ask if you say that we don't need much construction, okay, there will not be a lot of using tools, okay, there will not be. So it's not, I think, yeah, I mean, we are not going to ask people about this because it's, yeah, unuseful if somebody say, I want to be engaged in construction and we have not a workshop about construction. So we should confront. which are the activities for local engagement you thought, and which are the skills we would like to ask people to engage with.
I think I pretty agree with Analia. The idea is to, because we are more and more simplifying, and I think it's possible if we can simplify. And what we can do actually with this idea that we spend the first day on organize our all program for the local camp. What we can do is stay for now the question very open, using what we already did with the first phase of mapping, skill mapping,
Okay.
and now just stay on a generic question. So
Do not ask the specific.
I think it's not necessary right now because we really simplified a lot, and what we can do is maybe try to analyze this information and use this information during the first day, because we
Okay.
spend the afternoon of the second day, I think it was the afternoon, or I don't know, the morning,
Yeah, I saw it.
to
It's the
create
afternoon.
the whole program.
The afternoon of the first.
The afternoon.
It's the afternoon.
I think this is good because if the form is too much complicated, people is not really maybe.
Okay. So I shared the form in the chat, and if you want to watch it, we can skip we can cancel the question about entering the 3 or 4
Exactly.
preferred skills.
I think so, and you can see that I added two
Yeah,
more
so
countries,
that
tax.
what we said last day. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is something about logistics that was saying as well. Analia is very important to solve is actually accommodation and food and drink.
Okay. Okay.
I think about the form, the language skill will be really important because we had to know which of us can have like a fluid talk with locals because of the French. That will be
But
an
we already
economic.
have that.
Yes, but it's quite of evidence, so it's like we don't need a form for that. But yes, I would love to talk about what we stopped talking the other day. That was which kind of questions we thought we can ask them, or what I respect of them, like receiving from them as an information. And I would love to process that information during the camp, like doing a workshop between the local, the the local camp people about the things that are also happening during the camp by the fact of being there. So it's clear what I was going to say. ¿Cómo
Mm,
entendiste?
not really.
Que lo que pienso es que uno de los workshops podría ser procesar la información que llega de la interacción con los locales, por solamente el hecho de estar en la plaza.
Yes, what we were saying about having this Saturday a workshop. So we will talk. We will be talking all the week with people, just maybe just informally, people approaching, and we were talking with them, and what Nasia said as well. Maybe try to ask what they think about our setup. I don't know, having maybe open questions and using this information to register this information and using this information for a Saturday workshop, and inviting as well people to come for this Saturday workshop.
So we will have to think
So,
physically how are we going to be on the territory, how we expect they will come to us. That
you
would
mean,
be like
during the week? During the week.
during the week. Then which kind of information we thought we are gonna
Obtain.
obtain, So it will be nice to think some question we could ask them, or maybe I don't know if they should make us questions. I don't know. And then how we're going to process this information during the camp. I think could be like 3 good questions to ask us, just to know how we are going to work with civic engagement.
So
During the camp, during the camp, we want to have 2 kinds of information. The first is for the local people, about the local people. The first is what kind of skill do you have, and what is your need, or singular or plural. But to do this, we need to find a sweet discuss and informal discuss, because to have a fluid dialogue with local people, we can't just propose a simple form document. It's not possible. Between us, it's possible, but not with the local people, or not yet. And so that's why we need to find interactive way, ludic way, playful, interactive way in workshop, to have more and more fluid dialogue with habitants. We start this when we go to Nuit Debout at Place des Fêtes, or we had ever start this since long time, but if we want to go really far away, we need to find a good, a nice approach, and to have this kind of information.
okay, I just want to make a little step back. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand everything good. I think that what I don't know what Nasia thinks about it, but what we can do is that all the data from the first part of mapping, we should process a little to make it more readable for the first day work.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what we can do, me and Nasia do up to the camp, prepare those data to make it a little for an orientation for the first day, because in the first day we are going to prepare the next workshop, and there we will decide all the skills, all the who does what, okay? And then that the day where everybody from the global community will express in what they want to be engaged. Step by step, we decide in a parallel side, we decide what are the workshops. So that's what we can do, I think. I don't know, what do you think, Nasia?
Yes, I think it's a good start. I mean, we haven't elaborated a lot the information, so maybe we can do that and have a more general idea.
Yes, that's
Yeah, and then see how it will work.
yeah. And then we can talking about what Aurélie was saying right now, and Nadia. I think those questions we want to do to the locals. Okay. I think we can find a way to connect it with the questions we are doing in the second phase of mapping to the global community. So we can have an exchange. Okay, we should find the double side of each question. So a
Like,
little bit they are already done. I think we made a question in like, how would you like to contribute, and what do you like to learn? Because the second phase of the mapping, for what I understood, is going to be very open. Okay.
Yes.
Not
I'm
really.
just putting that on the Hangout restitution. I think it's quite okay.
It's why I were talking about thinking about maybe for the neighbors we can have even some kind of similar question. Besides skills and needs, I think it's interesting what kind of willing you have what you like to do, in general, trying to not put the people as well in this idea to ask and they need, try to push them, think about how they can maybe enjoy, I don't know, the city, the public space, and
Yes.
maybe even our events. So it would be,
Yes, that's what I mean. This question should be centered in the square because I don't know, I know some works that have been happening with placemaking, and there is this place game like developed where people fill in forms and information about the public space, for example. So we're focusing like on neighbors and their relation with the square or with the neighborhood and with the events and with their daily activities. And I mean, maybe there should be, we can find the focus on what we want to learn from them. Because maybe, I don't know, maybe they would like to use the square for the building's weekly meetings, for example. Someone. Maybe he would like to use that square plus the fence for that. Or maybe someone would not even think about that and would just like to use the square for a birthday party. Or, I mean, I'm trying to understand how it can work. Am I clear or am I making you confused?
I think is maybe is not there is not this need to understand all of this before the event. We can just think a little about what kind of questions and what kind of playful way as or at least to get people talking about the square and create this relationship with people and get information, and that's all. And we
For
will,
the event,
yeah,
for the event.
yeah, we will see how we can use this information, because there is a lot of variables, and for instance there is Nidebu, and we don't know how Nidebu will be evolving on the square. Maybe if Nidebu is growing and growing, maybe we can do directly something with the Nidebu. So maybe it's enough to just have in mind this kind of question, this kind of general way to approach local, and we will see.
Okay, but
I
let me ask you something, guys. In the event, okay, every day we have a workshop in the morning, in the afternoon, okay, and those
Yes.
workshops that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are workshop internal of Civic Wise community. Are the workshop about civic tech, civic economy, civic
Okay.
point?
Plus,
Exactly.
plus another place where there is people aware about uh,
Okay. This is what we are talking about.
yeah. So
Okay, there will be another. This is not a workshop, but there will be a point of listening of the neighborhood.
exactly.
Okay, and that's where we are going to prepare the final workshop of the Saturday, where all the neighborhood is invited to participate.
Exactly.
Okay. So
yeah.
during we are talking about, okay, now because I got a little lost, but we are talking about how to run this space of listening.
Exactly.
Okay, and then about those questions, Aurélie was saying we should also ask what they expect from outside the neighborhood to come. What they think that is good to come from outside their community, because this is a possible question, and also what we should promote or foster is that they recognize as a community around this plus.
I didn't understand well the first thing you said. You
Uh,
mean like?
I mean, we should ask, because maybe I did it in the wrong order. We should first understand, make people understand if people of the neighborhood recognize themselves as a community around
Mm.
that place, okay? And then ask what can come of from the outside of that community that they think is good. What do you understand? So first, do you recognize as a community? Second, do you think that something good can come from the outside, like from a global community like Civic-wise?
In fact, if I understand, you want to know how to create dialogue between two communities, the community Civic-wise and the local community?
I think that's the point, but first of all, we have to understand if they recognize as a community.
Yeah.
Because if they are not, okay, they don't recognize as a community, but just starting doing this question, they start the process of recognizing as a community. They start the process of building the community. But we should focus if they do or not. Because look, I have a reference here. Oh, no, I lost it. Because we were talking about this with the Circle of Milan. We had some good references from Pietro and gave us stuff like this that can be done. Wait, I'll share it on the chat. That for the first day can be good, and they can be good for to create this listening point.
Okay.
And then, well, we watched a lot the Urban Bat activities, but those are maybe more for the references more from the Saturday workshop.
That's nice.
No, we can have those pamphlets. This of the MoMA can be a good idea to have a little question and a space to draw.
Actually, I think this is a good way to create this interactive way of gaining information. I mean, I think something similar to that, I don't know how we can form it, would be good, like to be more... Maybe we can use different ways to gather information, even, I don't know, from papers, or I don't know if it's possible to have also digital tools that would be more easy to process information, but maybe it's not that easy, like people giving information in a digital tool or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, can be, depends, because we can't force everybody to use digital tools. I think we are there, so we have to use the presential.
Yes, that's why.
Our presence.
Yes, that's why I'm not sure if it.
I think it's really stronger, as you show in your example, to propose a kind of scenography, really simple scenography with elements, repetitive elements. That will be more connector than something digital. I think if we go on this way, we can develop a digital tool, but in complementary.
Yeah.
Yes, that could be.
Because I don't know, but anyway, I think the work should be very focused about this, about making people recognizing their community first, and then ask. There is an outside of your community. What good can come from the outside? Can you express it? But if they don't recognize as a community, it's difficult to give a.
Anyway, I think we will be careful about this kind of question, and don't seems to be, the analysts. People.
No, you're right. You have to be very soft.
Yeah, I understand it's very interesting, but all the time, let's be careful about this question, because when we did this project Surplus last year on the square, what happened was I think really good, because we just put a table and a chair, and people was approaching, and we were just listening, and people tell a lot of interesting stories, and we learned a lot about the square, and I think it's good to have in mind this kind of questions, this kind of
Yeah.
want to know. But
What was the question? Excuse me, I didn't really understand. What was your question, Francisco?
No, if they do recognize as a community.
Yeah,
But this is this is
okay,
what
okay.
Domenico
Yeah.
said. This is our approach, but what
yeah,
comes out is other thing. I think the last example I shared, like those with the yellow and the pink tickets. Okay, if everybody who pass from the plus, we ask them to write to answer to another generic question like, do you like the plus the fat like it is now or not, or very generally, and then all the questions are in colored papers, and then we make a wall with all the questions the next day, recombined in a big design, a big drawing. This
Yes, I.
people comes back and says, "Oh, this is what we did yesterday. Look, this is a process to start recognizing a collective work, a
Yeah.
collective."
I
But
think this kind of collective work in progress, it's totally adapt with what we want to do. I don't really understand why, Domenico, you said that can be dangerous. I don't understand why you said that, Domenico.
I, th I think it's dangerous because it's this kind of question that non-normal people is making. You know, a local people never ask to another one about if you feel member of a community. So when you receive this question, you understand that the other people asking for that is an expert, is something that is analyzing me. So so we will be careful about it. You know, of course we are experts, and people know that we are there, and we are even international. But we have tried to have at the same time, really the approach we had in Surplus. You already know about it.
So we need to find a tool where our community and the local community can be expressed in the same format.
I think what Domenico says is like not to go out straight with the question. You don't
Exactly.
go to the people and say, "Hey, do you recognize as a community here in Plaza Fest?" They
Yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah,
"Who
yeah.
are you for asking that?" They say, "Who are you? What do you want from me?" We have to find a little game, a little stuff to make them conscious that they are
Can
or they are
we,
not.
couldn't we just have a, I don't know, a place where, I think I mentioned that before, have a place where they can, if someone wants, can say something, like, I don't know, a big paper or a flip chart or something. Like, I mean, an open
An open
place.
wall.
Yes, where if someone wants, he can contribute with something, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We need this.
It would
Yeah.
be
So
more.
all these things I got asked questions. Sorry, I interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
All these things we are saying because we know we don't want to be rude or direct, but we know that we would love to know some stuff. But we also think we don't have to ask them so directly, otherwise create a conversation, but we're clever and we know how to handle the conversation. So I put in the session just like question for us. Maybe later we can each one think about it like more deeply.
Mhm.
Because now it's like I know what I would love to know. I know what I will love to ask, but we can't say how we are going to do it.
Yeah, actually, I think maybe for what we have to discuss today is enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
one thing.
yeah.
I'm going to put all the questions, so now each one can think about it.
Yeah,
And
that's just the I want just to say this could be the approach behind the question
okay,
we are making or the workshop we are running.
and about the second phase for the mapping, maybe we should just maybe take a look and having a final proposal because honestly, I would like to send it tomorrow because
Yeah, that's good.
we really need to understand how to organize ourselves with accommodation and food, and
Mm.
so
Um,
we can have a look at the form. And
yeah,
so we did. So what we can do is the in the first in the session one we said that we can delete the final part, no?
yeah, we can take it off this part where
Yeah.
that with the link of the Excel data file. No, Nasia, what do you think?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I would
I cancel.
I would I was thinking that maybe we can put off as well this question: which values do you think would rise established
Yeah,
to
I
this?
I proposed that, thinking that it could be like interesting to see from people what they think about the things we're talking about in civic design course. Like it would be connected with the theory and all the thoughts produced in the course. Like to see what
Yes.
they think about that. That's why I thought that maybe it could work. It was a proposal. I just left it there so that we could discuss about it. But I connected it with that, like maybe it would be interesting or not. I don't know because
No,
we were
I think
developing these things and
I
we
think
were
it's
saying that
interesting.
mm, it would be
There is no
updated.
doubt that this is interesting, but I am
Well, it's okay.
We can transform this question in how do you think will be plus the fat when we leave? What do you think we will leave in plus the
Uh,
fat after the camp? Do you understand?
yeah.
yes,
See,
I
maybe
Like
it's
imagine a scenario after the camp. In few words, imagine a scenario after the camp when civic wise leave. What is on the field? What stays on the field? Just very oniric like this.
um, yeah, this is linked maybe with the aspirations. Like, well,
But this is what you like to learn, experience. It's like personal. It's like what do you think the whole community of civic guys will leave to the local community after the camp once they left?
uh, uh, um,
I don't know if it's
I don't know
nice
if
to project to the future. Because I think this part, how we discussed today, and now it's the way it is taking this second form. The second form should mostly start have the aim to make people who's coming to the local camp to start reflecting uh, about the impact and about the interaction with the people, the local people. So we should center all the question through this aim, to this direction. What do you think? Projecting them in the interaction with the locals. Because if you say.
Actually, my concern is really practical because as we have this form connected with accommodation and food, what I am afraid of is that people finding all of these questions a little bit complicated, try to procrastinate the answer, and so we don't know so we separate the form, or we have to simplify, because otherwise people
we can't separate it because if you separate it takes too long to have
so
results.
I think it's why, because I think it's interesting, it's why I was thinking that maybe we can put off and try to not have a lot of questions.
Yeah, these three first questions are good.
Yes, okay.
We can skip this one.
This is the problem of communication. You know, we have a lot of goodwill, but at the end, you know, people, we are really really into a lot of things, and each new form we have to
well, yes.
it's a lot of work for us.
Skip this one, and
we could do something during the camp, maybe we want to.
No, we have to, for sure.
I think so.
The first day, I think now the first day is getting more and more important. The welcoming and the first day workshop is getting very important, because all this information we have to consent, put it all in that day. But that's good, I think. It's even better if we do it physically, close one to another, than digitally. Those kind of things. So I skip this one, okay? I delete this one. I cancel.
Okay.
So we have these three questions, and that's it. It's good, I think. What do you like to learn? Which people you like to connect with, and how would you like to contribute? Very general, but very easy. I don't know. Why do we have again the phone number? We already have it, or no?
I think this was like, yeah, because we were saying that maybe we could use it like for other, or during the camp or something like that, but maybe we can...
I don't know, this form goes to the people who already is coming, right? So we already have the phone number.
Not
the first one.
I think
yes,
it's good. We can to keep it because it's not obligatory.
Okay, in case anyone just...
And we don't know who will answer, maybe someone new will...
Because what we are doing and what we're saying in NASA is that now we can put this form directly on the website, and each people want to join us now have to fill the form.
Yeah, okay.
So it's why I think it's good to keep that.
Okay.
But then in that case, we should map also the language. Or not?
No, I think
well, if we do the first day, the registration, people who didn't do the first form, we just give them to fill it in when they register. What do you guys think? Because I was thinking that people who's coming there didn't do the first phase. We need those datas of everybody, so we just give them in paper, and we ask him, please fill this one to register if you didn't do it before, and that's where we map the language.
Okay.
It could work.
But we have to achieve the most of them online because we have an idea about how many people is coming, you know.
Yeah, of course. Okay, but we just leave this one, and we for the language, I don't think it's a problem if somebody will the question the language can tell us on the registration. It's okay.
Yes. So what we can do? Maybe I can finish the final part of thing, and we can send tomorrow the form for the people.
Yes,
I
okay.
think general things will be really, really good if our next steps are in three different ways. One is looking the event planning and thinking especially each day, for example, how we think the workshop are going to be, which kind of subjects are we going to propose to discuss, like thinking it's 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 already like a structure, but we have to think like in which thing,
Yeah,
what does it mean, like especially like the details. The other thing it's thinking about that we discussed today, like these kind of questions. How are we going to be on the territory? Like just arriving like maybe specific conclusion, or that we can discuss in the same Monday all together. But at least we have the questions. So just defining that will be the subjects. I don't know. I'm like thinking forward the whole thing.
I think next week is why I'm really concerned about having this form today, and
Yes.
try to have the people fill the form by next week, and use all the next week to think about it. So not logistics, more about contents and program. And
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm just saying all this because on Monday I can never do it. So
okay, so
So you are saying that we should go more deep about the question, right?
The,
not
uh,
about
I
this,
Because
I
you I'm
think we
watching
have
the
to
meet.
socialize like in the hangouts of Monday. All that we have speak in a like in a really synthetical way, just to get everybody informed and to use these 2 weeks just for work on that.
you don't have 2 weeks.
One.
Uh,
Sorry, I'm having problems with time, especially with mine, but that's also affecting my.
you're not the only one. Okay.
So more or less we have that's all, no, for today.
yeah,
Yes.
I don't know if you want to talk about the badge system. I think it's a big issue because I don't know on the badge. And for what I understood, Domenico, on the badge there will not be skills or stuff. We can define it on the first day. The badge.
Yeah, I think we will define maybe 5, 6 badges, and we will, yeah,
We
the
will assign it on the first day,
yeah,
pending. But they will regard they will be about practical competence. Like I'm responsible for the food. I'm responsible
yeah,
for
exactly.
that's it. Okay. So on the
Actually, for that we have to work a lot because I don't know if we talked. So volume is available for accommodation and food. So this is a great news. But the reality is that we have to make a very big effort to stay organized and don't board don't bother the normal way of normal life of the place. So we really need to have several responsibles for different things and be organized about times, and so this is a huge point we have to work about.
But Domenico, I ask you something. For example, I think we from the civic engagement group, we should be really implicated in general organization. I think the registration should be on our charge. For me, it's okay. I want to do it. I mean, it's okay for me because it's not a problem. I want to do it. But shouldn't we ask in this form also, like a general orientation, or who is available for contribution in main organization like this registration, accommodation, or stuff, or do you think it's not useful?
I think it would be useful if
We don't have 2 or 3 main categories of competencies that we need to understand who is available with this or not. Do we have it or not? That's the
I
question.
think the problem is that we didn't have a plan. So the better way is, when we define what kind of people we need to organize, we will ask, and we have Slack, and we can have with Slack, I think, this communication, because besides is something really, really, really important, and we have to take care about it. So I think would be people really, really engaged. People that we know that we can talk easily by Slack. Is not something that suddenly would be engaged and would be aware about accommodation. So it's
No, it has to
something
be someone who followed the issue from the beginning. I understand. That's why I
exactly.
say we are the most adequate for doing the registration and doing this, because we mapped all the people, and that's what I'm saying. Okay, no, okay. I understand. It's a big work. We
Yeah.
have to plan before the activities better.
I have to go, guys.
Ciao.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Chao, chao.
Hablamos.
Sí.
Mañana tú no sé si...
Yo mañana
Ok. Sí, olvídate cuando es luego.
o sea, la única manera que tenemos estar en el camp es estar encerrada la semana que viene.
Ah, vale, vale.
Mirada de colección. Acá
Perfecto.
y despedida.
Muy bien. Avísame si está cerrado. Debería estar abierto, pero...
I don't know if Analia explained you what we want to do for the local map for after have information about local people. She explained you or not really?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because so there is the camp, and after the camp there is another event sur place in June, and for us the camp will be the first step before sur place. So during the camp we will keep a lot of information, and during sur place we will invite different organizations of this territory who ever did this kind of work. For example, organization who propose to make in link to different inhabitants or citizens, because there is a lot of organization which do this kind of thing, and we don't want to do something which ever exists. So it's important for us to have really a real exchange with habitants and to speak with them about their need and about their skills. But we want after to be a connector between habitants and the organization whoever exists in this territory. So, for example, for instance, there is a Co-City. Co-City is one organization which work with us, whichever work with us for in the design civic lessons. And there is a lot of other organization in this same way. So for us, it's really the first step for after.
Okay, that's good. So we should. Do you think we should connect the last workshop of Saturday with this activity?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be really logical. Great.
Okay, for us now a big reflection about the campus. In the if the first day, okay, that will be our big day.
Yeah.
In the morning we have the registration of everybody. In the afternoon there is this space work, setting up civic place, and then there is planning, choosing subject for the workshop.
Exactly.
But here in the afternoon we have to prepare the activities. From one side we have to prepare the workshop, the listening point, okay, we call it like this, that we will run through the week for global and locals. And we have to make a little group who wants to work about this and has to plan it. But the other side, for the global community, we have to do that thing of the badges.
The badges?
Yeah, badges are other objects. It's not necessary. It's not obligatory badges. Yes. That can be other thing. Just a signal. It's just a symbol.
Yeah, but we have to understand who is doing what.
Yeah, yeah.
But that we have to do it Monday.
Yeah, and then identification.
So we have to do it during this day. So for what I understood, us from a civic engagement group, we have two main activity to run that day. The first one is the registration and definition, organization of the competencies through the badges. And the second one is to set up the work for the next 4 days in watching to the workshop of Saturday. Am I right?
Actually, I don't know if the existing groups would be the same working.
Yeah, of course. We're going to mix it up, but I mean,
we need to open.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, the idea is today we defined the program, so it's something really new, and the idea is to have next week or the next week to work on it, so to define exactly which one would be responsible for all of these things. And for instance, Analia proposed, I think it's a good idea to have a responsible for each day and for each specific workshop. So we can have responsible for registration. And when we have that, each responsible will be working on organize this specific, So I think we have enough time. It's not a lot, but we have enough time to get that organized.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that was much more than talking about a group. Was talking about the approach. Okay, registration and a relationship with the locals will be approached from people interested in civic engagement. That's what I
Yeah.
want to say.
Can I just add something? Domenico, do you explain that Saturday there is a workshop in Cabaret Sauvage? Do you explain this or no? Domenico?
No.
No, okay. So there is so for Nasia and Francesco, there is a workshop in the Cabaret Sauvage during Wisher Fest. So maybe we can exchange also about it. Maybe that can be interesting to materialize the link between the civic-wise mapping and the local mapping during this workshop, because the idea was to be based on a workshop we did with Baptiste. There is a few weeks ago. It was just simple workshop with mapping with a map of Lille, because it was at Lille. But the idea is to propose an adaptation about this during Wisher Fest. But maybe that can be interesting to reflect about it with you also. To reflect about it together. What do you think about it, Dom?
I think of course this workshop on Wisher Fest could have a good connection what we will do in, on Place des Fêtes, and but I think we have enough time as well to think about it during the camp.
Yeah, yeah. I don't say just to do this
I think it's
now, but I think it's important to stay in contact for this, to build this.
So it's important that the people know that we will have Saturday a very intensive day, because we will be on the square, so Place des Fêtes, and at the same time we will be at this other event with a lot of people coming. We will have a stand, and we will have a workshop, and we will have to think about how connect both space and both dynamics.
Okay.
And
so we will see this during the camp.
This important thing to know that the part of Wisher Fest will be in French. This is important, and on the square we will have as well both situation all the time with French and English. But it's important to have that in mind as well.
You don't think you was at Wisher Fest last year, Dom?
Not last year, but 2 years ago.
Okay, and the population participants are not international?
Yes, but this year they started this new day. So the Sunday is a new.
Yeah.
Because usually the Wisher Fest is for international people. Actually, is in English. But this year they add a new day, so it's the first day is in a new one. Normally it's just 3, and with this new day, which is open, so it's free, because the rest of the days are for you have to pay, and will be in French. So people are expecting a lot of people coming, because it's free, because it's in French, and yeah, this is.
Okay.
So maybe is it time to go?
Dom, I was looking at the form of the food. If you need help, I can stay a little and help you finishing.
Okay. We are strong people here. We work a lot. It's amazing, I don't know if you think sometimes about it, but it's amazing,
Yes, I agree.
A lot of work, and
And the most amazing thing is we don't understand what we are doing. That's the most amazing thing.
That's the best. We are the best.
Basic.
That's the curious thing.
We have a good will, so it can work.
Okay, so if you want to go, we will just continue a little bit with the form.
Yes, I will have to go.
Okay.
And soon we could speak face to face.
Yes, that's even better.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, to meet all of you.
Yeah.
I'm
It
tired
will be
of
nice.
screens. I'm tired of talking screens here.
Yeah. No more digital. That's enough for this year.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too.
Ciao,
See
ciao.
you.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Allora,
Fai domani. Siamo ancora in diretta?
aspetta che stop.